name is Roberto Luis Filiberto de la hermosa insignia de manufactura, but you may call me Robbie for short. And today we are giving Pokemon teams to the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9. This is an ongoing series with many more Drag Race seasons to cover. Make sure to subscribe to stay caught up on new videos. And without further ado, let's get started. With a cast of only 8 queens, it's not possible to make a full Pokémon League, but this is an all-star season. The runway looks are much more elevated and they're playing for charity this time. I think it would be best to host a Pokemon showcase style competition. Let's start with Shannel, the first queen to walk into the workroom on the very first season of the show. The 2 Pokemon she would bring to this showcase would be the following. Her first Pokemon is Delibird, based on her Sound of Rusic runway. This look is inspired by RuPaul's song Hey Sis, It's Christmas. Shannel has been coined the Queen of Christmas due to her insanely decorated house that she maintains for 6 months out of the year. Delibird is the Pokemon that comes to mind when you think of the holidays, and it's the most perfect choice for Shannel. Her second Pokemon is Scorpy, based on this look with a giant scorpion tail. The connection is obvious, and the garment speaks for itself. I opted for the base form for the cuteness that is sometimes required for these Pokemon events. Shannel is a consummate professional, but she struggled to earn badges throughout the competition. She managed to win 3 towards the end, which makes me think she likely struggled to find the right synergy between Delibird and Scorpy. Maybe Scorpy evolved halfway through the showcase and Shannel found her footing from there. I want to start streaming on Twitch soon, by the way. I'm planning a Ditto-only playthrough of Pokemon Scarlet that I'll be turning into a future video. I came up with commands and channel point redemptions to make the stream entertaining for everyone. If you're unfamiliar with Pokemon Showcases, they are an anime-exclusive event similar to Pokémon Contests, except the trainers play an active role in the performance. Pokemon performers, as they are referred to, may use up to 6 Pokemon, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll stick to 2 each. Let's talk about Gottmik next, who really leaned into her punk, rock and roll drag aesthetic this season. Her first Pokemon is Litwick, based on her Widow Weep For Me runway. This choice is very self-explanatory, since she's holding a candle in her hand and the dress is entirely made of wax. Her second Pokemon is Overquill, based on her signature fragrance look. The idea for this runway was to sell a perfume based on each queen's brand, and Gottmik chose this edgy look. It features the spikes on her hair and choker necklace, but the main focus is of course the perfume. The bottle looks like a flail and, much like Overquill, takes inspiration from those underwater landmines. Pokemon showcases are held in the Kalos region and are divided into 2 sections, with the first being a themed performance, which have different activities depending on the theme for that showcase. These activities include Pokemon styling, Pokepuff baking, Rhyhorn herding, and a Pokemon quiz. I like to think of these as maxi challenges on Drag Race. Speaking of Pokemon quizzes, you should totally check out my Pokeparty game show. Stay tuned for a second iteration of Pokeparty coming soon. Next we have Jorgeous, who is such a high energy performer, and I think she would do pretty well in a Pokemon showcase setting. Her first Pokemon is Lillipup, based on her Chihuahua-inspired look for this runway. Lillipup is one of those Pokemon that you would often see in performance competitions because it's small, cute, and agile. My headcanon is also that Jorgeous is the Lillipup that's on Regirock's handbag because Jorgeous is so petite. Her second Pokemon is a shiny Togedemaru, based on her Atomic Blonde runway. Togedemaru is based on a hedgehog, which has super spiky quills all over its body, kind of like Jorgeous' outfit. It's also an electric type, which references the sparkers on her fingers. I opted for a shiny form, as she is one of the elite queens from the franchise to receive the "You were born to do drag" comment from RuPaul, and it matches the look's metallic pink color scheme. The second section of a Pokemon showcase is a freestyle performance, where the performer and their Pokemon perform together on stage. Think of this one as the final talent show from the most recent All-Star seasons, a challenge that Plastique absolutely devoured. She could have arguably made the finale if she had committed to memorizing the lyrics to the various lip syncs she performed in, but her showing was nonetheless spectacular. Her first Pokemon is Starmie, based on her Sound of Rusic runway. The reasoning is obvious, a star-shaped Pokemon for a star-shaped dress. Starmie is one of those Pokemon with a legacy that transcends time. Everyone knows about Starmie. People talk about French Goldie, but have you heard the voice acting for French Starmie? I won't reference it here because it sounds suggestive, but Starmie is such a feminine Pokemon and it represents Plastique so well. Her second Pokemon is Galarian Articuno, based on her promo look. This choice was necessary for humanity. The extravagant tail feathers resemble the flowing fabric that surrounds her, and the color scheme is perfect. Giving Plastique a legendary Pokemon seems overpowered, but I made an exception for this format because we're performing instead of battling. Articuno is a rare case of a fan-favorite legendary Pokemon getting an even better design in a later game, which is representative of Plastique's massive improvement. Her runway package was so superior that it needed a Pokemon that could correctly represent its grandeur. The freestyle section of a Pokemon showcase is judged by the audience. It involves a special voting device called a Glowcaster to vote for the winner. It's funny to think about how similar a Pokemon showcase is to this All-Star season, except the queens are voting for each other rather than the audience choosing the outcome. And that reminds me of the winner of the Double Diamond Award, Nina West. Crazy that this season had 2 gimmicks and neither of them had any payoff. Nina's first Pokemon is Fortress, based on her Atomic Blonde runway. I thought this was a fun choice, because Nina took the prompt very literally, and Fortress is one of the many Pokemon that can learn Explosion. I specifically chose Fortress as the pattern on her dress is similar to this Pokemon's anatomy. Her second Pokemon is Blacephalon, based on her Paintball Eleganza runway. This outfit truly looks like it was made by a child, but I can't be too critical because I can't sew at all. Blacephalon is an Ultra Beast, but it's such a campy choice that it works well for Nina. My favorite part is how colorful they look together, and the clown aesthetic helps to sell this pairing. Blacephalon's signature move is Mind Blown, which also references her Atomic Blonde runway that we just mentioned. We're down to our season's finalists, so let's continue with Vanessa, Vanjie, Mateo. Vanjie is well known for contributing so much to meme culture, and I think she would have some wildcard choices for Pokemon. Her first Pokemon is Espathra, based on her Snatch Game performance. Vanjie played the character of Cleopatra, complete with a black bob and hair beads. Espathra is inspired by an ostrich and actually borrows many influences from Cleopatra as a character, which is a comical choice for Miss Vanjie. Her second Pokemon is Clamperl, based on her Bring Back My Pearls runway. This is the best she has ever looked, in my opinion. What an incredible look. To give the bivalve Pokemon for a bivalve inspired look was a no-brainer. The choice of Clamperl is also perfect for a queen whose drag name comes from Ursula's alter ego in The Little Mermaid. Before we talked about our new champion ranked trainer, we have to talk about Roxxxy Andrews, who had an amazing run on the show. I would have absolutely loved to have some Puerto Rican representation in the Hall of Fame, but I guess World of Wonder doesn't want to let that happen. Her first Pokemon is Frosmoth, based on her signature fragrance runway. What can I say? It's a sparkly blue dress that makes her look like Elsa, and the flowy fabric resembles Frosmoth's wings in the way that they are translucent. Frosmoth is a bug type, which reminds me of their powder-like moves and the way bugs pollinate flowers. Flowers, in turn, are used to create fragrances, perfect for this perfume-inspired runway. Her second Pokemon is Dolliv, based on her Snatch Game performance. Baby, you can't read the Dolliv! I cracked myself up. Tell me this Pokemon choice isn't perfect. It's dainty, beautifully green, and olives can totally be included in salads. I also felt that a grass type needed to be included for her portrayal of Tasha's salad. I made a poll on Instagram and YouTube asking who had the best showing of these two finalists, to stay true to the nature of Pokemon showcases, and the audience voted for Roxxxy Andrews as the winner! Congratulations, Roxxxy! The bond with your Pokemon helped carry you to victory. With the Pokemon showcase over, let's move on to our champion ranked trainer. Being an All-Stars winner means being recognized as a champion-ranked trainer, just like I've done with queens like Kylie and Alaska. Angeria joins this set of trainers, and it's very exciting for me to give a champion team to a queen whom I had previously given an Elite Four team. Her first Pokemon is Ariados, based on her Widow Weep For Me runway. Ariados is the closest design we have to a Black Widow spider, which this outfit is inspired by. Ariados is a seldom used Pokemon in the competitive scene, and its presence on a champion team seems odd, but it can be helpful early on by setting up entry hazards like Toxic Spikes or inflicting stat-reducing moves like Sticky Web. Her second Pokemon is Hatterene, based on her signature fragrance look. The color scheme is exact, and the silhouette is practically the same. Even the hat is as comically large as Hatterene's. The look is a perfect blend of Angeria's pageant background and campy sense of humor, and it meshes very well with Hatterene's feminine design. Her third Pokemon is Archeops, based on her Finale Eleganza runway. I thought of this pairing as soon as I saw this incredible dress. The outfit is full of feathers and the color scheme matches exactly. I was initially hesitant on including Archeops on a champion team due to its infamously terrible ability, Defeatist, but I was convinced after researching and seeing it included on Iris's team. Archeops has an incredible base attack and speed of 140 and 110 respectively, and can definitely be an offensive threat. Her fourth Pokemon is Shiny Chestnut, based on her Atomic Blonde runway. What an excellent pairing that works from both a design standpoint and color scheme. This runway category plays with the concept of a post-apocalyptic femme fatale, but what I love most is how Chestnut's shell resembles Angeria's thick spalders. Her hair also has some spiked portions that comically look like chestnut spikes. Her fifth Pokemon is Mega Altaria, based on her Bring Back My Pearls runway. Altaria is one of the choices for my Season 14 video that I felt needed to be included. I paired its Mega Evolution to this look for the bright white colors, extravagant feathers, and elegant presentation. Angeria always showcases opulent runways, perfect for a regal Pokemon such as Altaria. Angeria's drag name starts with A, and having 3 Pokemon that also start with the letter A is so funny to me. Her final Pokemon is Dragonite, based on this long-tailed dragon-inspired runway. As a dragon-type specialist, Angeria is definitely considered one of the strongest trainers, which speaks to her 6 challenge wins across the franchise. Dragonite is a self-explanatory choice for this runway, and I love to think that her Dragonair from my Season 14 video finally evolved to secure her status as a Pokémon League Champion. What do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more Pokemon content coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate you being here. Bye!